Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 16 of albums that are 40 years old in 2025. 28 days in the month of February. We're looking back and we picked out our 28 favorite albums released 40 years ago from 1985 that are celebrating their 40th birthdays and anniversaries this year. Happy birthday, happy anniversary to all these great albums. And today we're going to be talking about another November Baby. This is the second studio album by this American band, released November 4th, 1985, recorded at Can-Am Studios in Los Angeles, California, produced by Max Norman for Chrysalis Records. I'm talking about Armored Saint, Delirious Nomad. There they are right there. They pretty much dropped the armor and just looking like regular metal dudes at this point in time, right? So, this is, of course, the original lineup of the band. John Bush, lead and backing vocals. The great John Bush. Yeah, he had hair back then, right? Look at that. Remember that? I actually was watching a movie yesterday. I was watching one of the early Hellraiser movies, and they actually had a scene in a rock club, and Armored Saint was up there playing on stage, and John had the long, flowing, curly black hair or dark hair, and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot when John had hair, because he's had been clean-shaven for a long, long time. The late, the great Dave Pritchard on guitars, Joey Vera on bass and backing vocals, Gonzo Sandoval on drums and percussion, and helping out on a little bit of guitars on this album, Phil Sandoval, because he had taken a little time away from the band, of course. Long-time member of Armored Saint, still playing guitar in the band to this day. So, what do we have on this album? Interestingly enough, I remember like when this came out, I really enjoyed the debut a lot. I love the debut, as a matter of fact. But I remember back in the day thinking that the production didn't really do the album or the songs justice or really match up with the band's look. Because I always thought that the songs were great on the debut, but the production was lacking a little balls. And I think they got the balls with Max Norman on this particular album. This is a ferocious sounding album. In hindsight, all these years later, I think the songs were a little stronger on the debut, perhaps. But I still think this is the better sounding album of the two of them. So Long Before I Die kicks off. Great opening track. Not nearly long enough. It's not even 3 minutes long. And that goes into kind of Nervous Man, which is a killer track. Killer song. Over the Edge might be my favorite song on the album. Just an absolute classic from the band. Then you have The Laugh, another killer tune, and Conqueror, great chorus on that. Man, John Bush, what a great singer. What a great singer. Side one of the album. Over on side B, you got For the Sake of Heaviness. For the Sake of Heaviness. And that is pretty heavy, right? This whole album is pretty heavy. Again, it's metal. It's can't really, it's not really thrash. It's kind of like that weird American kind of power metal type thing, I guess. Or just classic early mid-80s heavy metal, right? It's whatever. Aftermath is up next. That's a terrific song. And that is the longest track on the album at 5.5 minutes long. Aftermath has just some great, just moody atmospheric sections. It's potent, great vocal from John. In the Hole is just absolutely crushing. You're Never Alone, another really good track. And then Released finishes off the album. Again, just one classic song after another. Maybe, not some of the Drop Dead classic tunes from the band compared to what we got on the debut, and certainly a couple albums afterwards, but still I would argue that there are some really, I think this is just a really, start to finish, really strong album. It's got really good production values. I always liked the way this album sounded. So what do we have as far as no charts, no certification? I'm kind of surprised that this did not even chart in the States. Because, of course, this was on Chrysalis Records. Maybe not. Maybe not quite a top 200 album at the time, right? But still really, really good. And I love it. I always thought the cover artwork is really cool, too. So, and the art direction on this done by Jeffrey Von Gerlach and Ria Lewerke. And, of course, how about that logo, right? Very, very cool. So, let us know what you think of Delirious Nomad in the comments below. Of course, this is the great Rock Candy reissue, which contains all sorts of cool stuff. So the Rock Candy reissues are so great. Not only do they sound great, but they have all sorts of great photographs and liner notes and things about the albums, which I think is absolutely terrific. Here you got there's the full band right there. And there's, of course, Dave. Yeah, I lost him, God, what was it, 1990, 1991 to leukemia. Way too young. That's in his 20s. I mean, that's just crazy, right? Yeah, I have an old Armored Saint ticket stub as well. Armored Saint, Metallica, and Wasp at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. I believe that was was that early 85? Or it was on, I think it was late 84, maybe early 85. I don't quite remember. And it was on the, so that was Ride the Lightning, first album for Wasp, and first album for these guys. So that probably is the year before. So I'm not quite 85 yet. So, yeah, that's my pick for today. Day number 16, Armored Saint, Delirious, Nomad. Let us know what you think of this down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Day number 16, and we'll see you tomorrow for number 17. Tune in just a little while. Don't touch that dial. We've got Ranking the Albums, 2 short shows. Grant Arthur and myself will be looking at 2 tiny catalogs, 2 albums from Sean Hammer. That's Neil Sean and Jan Hammer. They did a couple albums together back in the early 80s. Very cool. And then 2 albums from the Traveling Wilburys, the big supergroup in the late 80s, right? Featuring Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, Roy Orbison, George Harrison, and Jeff Lynne. Second album without Roy Orbison because he passed away, right? So, yeah, we're going to be talking about those as well. So 2 short episodes this week. Got more Ranking the Album shows coming in the weeks ahead. Some really good ones planned, as a matter of fact, too. So stay tuned. We've got stuff planned in the immediate future. We've got Loggins and Messina. We've got Sog. We've got, oh, boy. Kim Mitchell from Max Webster. Chad Hutchinson, Eric Porter, and I will be doing that. So we've got Liege Lord, all sorts of stuff, cool, very cool stuff planned in the weeks ahead. So yeah, lots to do. Eventually, Simon and I will be doing Night Flight Orchestra. I've been getting all the Night Flight Orchestra stuff, so it's going to be a little time for that at least. But that's in the works as well. T-Rex, all sorts of stuff. So stay tuned for that and more here on SOT, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. For those of you here on the East Coast, in the New York, New Jersey area, it's pretty treacherous out there. Lots of slush and ice and whatnot. So if you're driving around, please be safe. And yeah, we'll see you for Ranking the Albums in a little while. I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.